This is what happened to the victim Romeo at the hands of Solomon on March 12, 2009. According to the report we obtained, Solomon was diagnosed on July 21, 2003. Her sister said they didn't check up regularly and that her brother Solomon was getting worse. In less than a few years, Miriam took Solomon back to CVMC because his illness had rekindled.
In 2009, we took him back from the hospital because he was relapsed. The doctor said he needed to be resuscitated. After that, he was able to get out again of the house. He was okay again.
Sige po, magta-traffic ako ulit. Ano, paano sumunta ka ba po?
Hey, what are you doing with my irrigation pump? Bring it back. Mom, I have something to report to you. I saw Solomon stealing the pan belt from my irrigation pump. I have a video evidence for him.
Don't worry, sir. We will react with you. First, fill up this paper that shows that you came from here to our station.
Thank you, Mom.
This condo is gone. You look so anxious. Hold on.
No, start the phone.
Is there anyone here?
Good afternoon, Mom. What can I do for you? You here for?
Do you know Solomon?
Oh, it's my brother. So, what do you want from me?
We have received stealing a panel at Romeo's house.
Oh, wait. Oh, my brother's here. Solomon, someone's looking for you.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm not going to repeat it. Thank you. I'm going home now. Goodbye.
Alright.
Solomon and I had a good conversation at their station the day before the crime happened. He even told me he would return the fan belt when he returned home. I never thought he could do something like that.
Solomon was arrested by the police, but based on reports carried out, Solomon was not in a good mental condition when they were on the crime scene. On March 20, 2009, he was transferred to the psychiatry department after Dr. Leonor Andres Juliano had diagnosed that he was having difficulty sleeping. Dr. Andres Juliano opined that Verdadero suffered a relapse, as evidenced by his violent behavior. We interrogated Romeo's family.
We are still shocked for my father's tragic death. If we knew this was going to happen to him, we would have let the pan belt get stolen from our irrigation pump. We won't stop until my husband gets the justice he deserves.
On May 30, 2013, the RTC rendered a decision finding Verdadero guilty for the crime of homicide. Wherefore, in the light of foregoing, this court finds the accused Solomon Verdadero y Galera beyond reasonable doubt of the felony of homicide, defined and penalized under the article of the revised penal code as amended, and hereby sentences him
1. To suffer an indeterminate prison sentence ranging from 12 years of prison mayor as maximum as minimum to 17 years and 4 months of reclusion temporal medium as maximum, and 2. To pay the heirs of Romeo Plata the amounts of A. 50,000 pesos death indemnity, B. 50,000 pesos moral damages, and C. 30,000 pesos as stipulated actual damages, and 3. To pay the costs. So ordered. The RTC ruled that the crime committed was only homicide, as the prosecution failed to establish the presence of treachery and evident premeditation to qualify the killing to murder. Trial court, however, opined that Verdadero failed to establish insanity as an exempting circumstance. The trial court posited that Verdadero was unsuccessful in establishing that he was not in a lucid interval at the time he stabbed Romeo, or that he was completely of unsound mind prior to or continuous with the commission of the crime. Aggrieved, Verdadero appeared before the CA. The CA ruling. In its July 10, 2014 decision, the CA upheld Verdadero's conviction of homicide. The appellate court agreed that the defense was able to establish that Verdadero had a history of schizophrenic attacks, but was unable to prove that he was not lucid at the time of the commission of the offense. The critical portion of the decision states, wherefore, in view of the foregoing, the appeal is denied. The judgment dated May 30, 2013, rendered by the Regional Trial Court of Tuligao City, Branch 3 in Criminal Case Number 132383 is affirmed. So ordered. Verdadero moved for reconsideration, but his motion was denied by the CA in its resolution dated December 15, 2014.
whether the Court of Appeals gravely erred in affirming the petitioner's conviction, despite the fact that his insanity at the time of the incident was established by clear and convincing evidence.
Verdadero insists that he was able to fully support his defense of insanity. He claims that Maynard even admitted that he was not in the proper state of mind when they were at the police station before the stabbing took place. Further, it appeared that Verdadero was having hallucinations after the stabbing incident, as testified to by Dr. Andres Juliana. Verdadero knows that Dr. Pagano concluded that he had relapsed at the time of the stabbing incident on March 12, 2009. In its comment, 15, the Office of the Solicitor General, OSG, contended that the present petition presented a question of fact, which could not be addressed in the petition for review under Rule 45 of the Rules of Court. Moreover, they asserted that the CA did not misapprehend the facts, as evidence presented failed to completely establish Verdadero's insanity at the time of the stabbing. In his manifestation, in lieu of reply, Verdadero indicated that he would no longer file a reply as his petition for review already contained an exhaustive discussion of the issues. Insanity must be present at the time the crime had been committed. Thus, it is without question that he was suffering from schizophrenia, and the only thing left to be ascertained is whether he should be absolved from responsibility in killing Romeo because of his mental state. Schizophrenia is a chronic mental disorder characterized by inability to distinguish between fantasy and reality, and often accompanied by hallucinations and delusions. In People versus Florendo, the court explained the standard in upholding insanity as an exempting circumstance, to wit, insanity under Article 12, Part 1 of the Revised Penal Code exists when there is a complete deprivation of intelligence committing the act. The appellant is deprived of reason. He acts without the least discernment because of complete absence of power to discern, or there is a total deprivation of freedom of the will. The onus probandi rests upon him who invokes insanity as an exempting circumstance, and he must prove it by clear and convincing evidence. In raising the defense of insanity, Verdadero admits to the commission of the crime because such defense is in the nature of confession or avoidance. As such, he is duty-bound to establish with certainty that he was completely deprived, not merely diminished, of intelligence at the time of the commission of the crime, failing which, Verdadero should be criminally punished for impliedly admitting to have stabbed Romeo to death. Guided by the precepts laid out by the above-mentioned jurisprudence, the court finds that Verdadero sufficiently proved that he was insane at the time of the stabbing. Thus, the court takes a view different from that of the CA, as the latter concluded that Verdadero's insanity was not clearly proven. It is true that there is no direct evidence to show Verdadero's mental state at the exact moment the crime was committed. This, however, is not fatal to the finding that he was insane. His insanity may still be shown by circumstances immediately before and after the incident. Further, the expert opinion of the psychiatrist Dr. Pagado may also be taken into account. Maynard was familiar with Verdadero as the latter was his neighbor for a long time. He had observed that there were times that Verdadero appeared to be of a sound mind, as he would sometimes become violent. On the day of the stabbing incident, Maynard perceived that Verdadero was again of unsound mind, noting that he had reddish eyes and appeared to be drunk. Moreover, he was immediately transferred to the psychiatry department because of his impaired sleep and to no control of him for harming himself and the others. The court notes that at the very first opportunity, Verdadero already raised the defense of insanity and remained steadfast in asserting that he was deprived of intelligence at the time of the commission of the offense. He no longer offered any denial or alibi and instead consistently harped on his mental incapacity. Unlike in previous cases where the court denied the defense of insanity as it was raised only when the initial defense of alibi failed to prosper, Verdadero's alleged insanity was not a mere afterthought. In exonerating Verdadero on the ground of insanity, the court does not totally free him from the responsibility and consequences of his acts. Article 12 of the RPC expressly states that when an insane person has committed an act which the law defines as a felony, the court shall order his confinement in one of the hospitals or asylums established for a person thus afflicted, which he shall not be permitted to leave without first obtaining the permission of the same court. Verdadero is still liable for damages in spite of his exoneration. In appreciating insanity in favor of Verdadero, the court absolves him from criminal responsibility. He is, nevertheless, responsible to indemnify the heirs of Romeo for the latter's death. An exempting circumstance, by its nature, admits that criminal and civil liabilities exist, but the accused is free from the criminal liability. The amount of damages awarded, however, must be modified in order to conform to the recent jurisprudence. The 50,000 pesos civil indemnity and the 50,000 pesos moral damages awarded by the RTC must each be increased to 75,000 pesos. In addition, an interest rate at the rate of 6% per annum should be imposed on all damages awarded computed from the finality of the decision until the same have been fully paid. Wherefore, the court grants the petition acquits accused appellant Solomon Verdadero E. Galera of homicide by reason of insanity. He is ordered confined at the National Center for Mental Health for treatment and shall be released only upon the order of RTC, acting on recommendation from his attending physicians from the institution. He is also ordered to pay the heirs of Romeo B. Plata the amounts of 75,000 pesos as civil indemnity, 75,000 pesos as moral damages, and 30,000 pesos as stipulated actual damages, plus interest on all damages awarded at the rate of 6% per annum from the date of finality of this decision until the same shall have been fully paid.